Hello and welcome to Discussing Destiny. As always, I'm Charlie, and unlike always, we're actually joined by someone else. We're joined by Morgan, a hopeful, soon to start doing stuff for the channel person you may know from hashtag Morgan Get a PS4.
Yep. Hello.
Say hi, Morgan.
Hello, everyone.
So, Morgan's actually on here because, well, most of the people that work at Something Wicked Studios are kind of biased by now. We played the beta, we've watched a lot of videos, we've been doing a lot of stuff with Destiny so far, and I thought it might be useful to some folks out there, given how just bizarre the reviews have been for this game, to have someone who's kind of in the, well, I don't know much about the game and haven't actually played it yet seat talk about what their impression of is about the game before he plays it and then after he plays it. So before we get on that though, so Morgan, you don't own a console and you haven't played Destiny.
Yeah, no, I don't. I definitely don't have a console. I've only seen bits and pieces of Destiny online and whatever up on your stream.
Yeah, he watched some of the live stream stuff we did a couple days ago. It was terrible and stuff like that because I had audio issues
Well,
going on.
it got me excited about the game, so.
And that's my exact point. Based on what you've seen so far of the game, are you excited about the game? Are you at all interested in the game based on the little tidbits you've seen across?
Oh hell yeah! Very
Why?
excited. Well, I mean, I guess to begin with, it's made by Bungie. Arguably one of my favorite game studios, probably because they've made the Halo franchise. I've been a huge fan of that since pretty much beginning of time. And also, it's got some really interesting like RPG and shooter qualities kind of mixed into one. And based on some of the videos I've seen online, it seems like they've taken all the time consuming elements out of it, the RPG, all the MMO, and left all the fun bits. And
Makes sense.
basically kind of infused all of that with a little bit of arena shooter. And I don't know, I'm ready. I've never played a game like that, so I'm definitely very interested in trying out, see how it works out.
Fair enough. That also makes sense. So, of the stuff you've watched, though, what do you feel was the most informative? And on the flip side, what do you feel was like the "oh my god, I need this game" the most? What invoked those two different reactions out of you? Like, was there one video that like, okay, I think I kind of get this, and one of you were like, I don't care how wrong this is. This looks awesome.
Dude, I don't know. That's a pretty good question. I love shooters and I love space things. That was it. And I mean, it seems like it has a decent story, which you don't get much of out of, I don't know, most of the games I've seen at least. I'm pretty limited in the games I've played, but from what I've seen, it's got a pretty decent story. It's just even watching the intro, I like right away I was hooked. I was like, wow, what happened with this guy? You're dead, but now you're alive. And then there's so many questions already, like asking what happened to humanity? How many years in the future is this? What are these like freaking like 4-6 armed creatures like running after you with this weird like sniper rifle thingamajig? And like,
Sure.
there's just a lot of stuff happening, and like it seems like a very compelling universe. Again, I haven't seen much of anything yet, but I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, just you're about to find, and it's but generally speaking, you have a pretty positive impression of the game based on even like some of the stuff you found annoying, like all the media coverage you've seen. It's been even regardless of who was doing it. You're like, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah, basically.
All right, let's get you up and running. Second.
I've watched the intro way too many times, so I'm not very impressed.
All right, so Morgan, you got to play roughly the first 2 levels of Destiny. Let me just restart. All right, so Morgan, you got to play roughly the first 2 major levels of Destiny. What'd you think?
Yeah, so far so good. I really like what I've seen so far. The combat's good. A little iffy on the controllers.
Yeah, that's just you're not used to
Yeah.
using a console though.
'Cause I've never really played on a PlayStation before, so
Sure.
it's gonna be a bit of a learning curve. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, it's great.
Does this game live up to the expectations you had based on what you've seen of it so far? Like, has the media you've seen to deliver on the promise for the most part, at least in your first roughly hour of the game?
Definitely so. After playing through the first 2, what is it, missions or
Yeah.
something, and getting a better sense of the story. I like it. It seems like it's got enough. I think it's really interesting what they've done. They've taken like mythology, right, from like your typical fantasy games and mix that with the sci-fi kind of shooter aspect. And I'm just basically listening to like these so-called legends that they're telling of like the Traveler and its ancient enemy and such like that. You really get a sense of how much history there really is behind this game, and it'd be really interesting just getting to play more and learning what the hell is going on.
So you barely scratch the surface of the game. You don't get to any of the
Yeah.
powers. You only unlock the grenades essentially and the jump at the
Basically.
very end. Did you have a favorite part of the game so far? Are you just kind of curious what else is in the game? You've obviously seen some things. You know there's the superpowers and the melee abilities and
Yeah.
lots of stranger stuff. But so far, do you have a favorite part of this game or a part you find most intriguing in theory?
Well, not much yet. But that's mostly because I've already seen this part of the game played.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
It's nothing new really. But if I were to have to pick something, I would probably say it'd be just. I'm mostly interested about the story.
Fair enough.
I could care less about the combat and such. I'm sure I'd get into it after a couple more missions and getting past this learning curve about like the PS4 controller.
Yeah,
and such.
sure.
But, I like it so far.
So obviously
Good.
you're a PC gamer, given the references to console controllers. If this
Sure.
was out for the PC, would you go and buy it right now, kind of thing?
Yeah, instantly. No thinking involved. I'd do it.
No, so that's you obviously had fun. That's good. If you had to pick a game to compare it to, what would it be? It's compared to Borderlands a lot. We kind of, while you were playing, said it's kind of like Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say, when you brought up Mass Effect, it kind of clicked. I was like, yeah, this is very much like that. It's been a while since I played Mass Effect, but with the whole character building and leveling up and like collecting weapons and such. But I like that it's also heavily skill based as far as the combat goes, whereas Mass Effect was pretty much, as long as you made your teammates do what they needed to do and you stayed out of harm's way, generally speaking, it's hard to mess up.
It's that nice hybrid of skill based shooter and ability based RPG.
Yeah,
Not all games
precisely.
and that's why it gets compared to Borderlands. I think they're very different games, but the comparison
I
is
haven't
pretty
played
obvious.
Borderlands, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Some of the comparisons.
So I guess my final question, that you've played the game. I've made a lot of jokes about hashtag Morgan get a PS4. Can I change that to hashtag Morgan getting a PS4? Hashtag Morgan got a PS4?
I would say Morgan is very much considering getting a PS4. Give me another couple more hours playing the game. I'm sure it'll be Morgan has gotten a PS4 and now he can't stop playing it. And he's coming to work all like dead.
You were the first one. For those who don't know, I was out of work actually for a couple of days. I took some vacation days essentially to play this game. 'Cause I have to go out, I mentioned in a separate video, I have to be out of town for a little bit, so I went on to marathon this game to get my fix. And what was the exact? I looked more corpsey than normal or something.
Yeah, I would say that pretty much covers it. Yeah, I mean, you look like you were just a walking bag of sleep deprivation.
It's not-
lack of a better term.
It's
I
pretty
got enough
true.
of it.
I was not in a great state.
Yeah. Arguably the least responsive I've ever seen you.
All right, so sorry, I lied about the last question. So a
Anyhow.
bunch of reviews for the game has been that it feels like the media hyped it up too much. Now, you barely scratched the surface. You just really only played the first hour.
Yeah.
And you've watched me play it a bunch via Twitch and other videos and stuff like that. Do you feel this one was overhyped in some regards? Like, admittedly, only an hour in, and that's the issue with the first hour of a game. And you've seen the first hour of the game a bunch of times because you watched a bunch of the stuff on the channel and stuff like that. Note out there, Morgan's the only one that works on the channel that actually watches the channel.
Overhyped? I don't think so. I haven't seen very much of Destiny. I knew that it existed and that Bungie was working on it, but I didn't really see very much media coverage and such. But I would say I've definitely seen too much of the game before playing it. And so, I mean, if I had simply just kept away from all the videos on the channel and what have you on YouTube, I would probably say I would have been very impressed.
No, we've talked. And I get the impression you are fairly impressed, though, even with the. Yeah, it's something we've actually talked about a bunch, me and Greg, is the fact that if you played a lot of the beta, the first hour, the first level of the game, the whole Earth segments, kind of, I already played through this like 500 million times, and you vicariously experienced it 500 million times. Like, I know when I was playing it, when I got to the moon, the second area, I'm not ruining that for anyone. Like, literally the second mission there, I hadn't played it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm back to loving Destiny again, like I did when I played the alpha.
Right.
No, and that's actually something worth mentioning, I guess, to people out there watching. If you're thinking about getting Destiny, stop watching media on it. Finish this video, of course, because we want you to do that, but just go out and buy it. Like, the more you watch stuff on it, the more you'll kind of be like, oh, I knew this was coming, and you'll ruin parts of the game for yourself, because
basically
there are some cool things.
Spoilers. Lots of spoilers happening out there, even though they're mostly inadvertent.
Yeah. All right, so any final thoughts you want to share now that you're no longer a Destiny virgin, for lack of a better phrase?
No, I think that's about it. Yeah,
Fair enough.
I've got nothing else to say.
You would recommend it based on your first hour of the game?
I would recommend it,
what
but
you've seen?
stay off the channels and YouTube for sure, because you will ruin it for yourself.
Don't listen to him. Watch every video on the channel, but buy Destiny as well.
I'd say buy Destiny, then watch the channel. Play through it, and then watch everything else.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Just watch the channel as well. We really appreciate
Watch the channel, please.
We really appreciate the views. So with that, I'm Charlie, and Morgan, you want to say something insightful and thoughtful as we exit out on this?
I got nothing.
Fair
See
enough.
you later.
I'm Charlie, he's Morgan, and we'll see you in-game, hopefully real soon.